Hi, I'm Angela, and today we're going to learn all about still lifes. So, still life is defined as a work of art depicting mostly inanimate objects. It's different than a landscape or a portrait because the artist has a little more control over the composition and the arrangement of the objects. This is a genre of painting that has been around for thousands of years back from the Egyptians and the Romans. It was popularized in the 14th and 15th centuries, by the 15th and 16th centuries by the Northern Europeans who were using it as a means to spread Christianity. So they would take scenes from the Bible and paint them to explore morality through a Christian point of view. As the genre developed and more painters started using this style of painting, they started to explore philosophically the brevity of life and relationships between objects, and they developed a new genre out of still lifes called vanitas. So, why are still life paintings important today, you may ask? Well, it's a great way for artists to start learning about composition and visual weight. It helps you determine the importance of light sources and shading, and it opens the door to experimentation and growth. Many contemporary artists use this genre, including Picasso and Matisse. And there's actually a really cool exhibit at the Met right now exploring inanimate objects and their design versus functionality. So today we're going to start our very own still lifes. While you don't need to have an epiphany, it doesn't need to be a groundbreaking composition of sorts. Do collect items that will challenge you and that will interest you and that are cohesive. So at least they have some kind of sense and theme to them, so it's not just a collection of random stuff that you found in your house. So let's get started.
Okay, so this is a collection of items that I think is pretty interesting. There's enough space between them. That's what it's going to look like when I'm drawing it. So there's enough space between them to kind of make it visually interesting, and there's a lot of folds, there's different textures and stuff, so it's enough to keep the picture interesting. So we'll go ahead and get started. First things first, get an idea of where everything will fit on the page. I like to start with the objects that are furthest apart in the composition and work my way in. It's very important to give yourself enough room to make changes, and even more importantly, be open to changing things. Nothing is cemented down. That's why you have your eraser. Once you've established a general idea of where your objects lie, you can start with the fun stuff, which is shading. Start with your midtones and work your way out. Remember, it's much harder to pull light out of charcoal than it is to make it darker.
Hello, my camera died, so it didn't record the rest of my drawing, but I did finish it and I have it here. Oh, it's heavy. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see. I'll include a picture of it. I'll put a picture of it in a link. But yeah, so that took me probably around like 40 minutes to an hour, and it's not probably not complete, but it's as complete as it should be. And what I mean by that is that it doesn't need to be totally worked out for it to be considered completed. I'm at a point where I feel I've done enough to get my point across, and I feel good about it. So that's a good place to stop, and that's something to keep in mind as you work through anything. Don't push yourself past that limit. Keep it fun and interesting for yourself. So I hope you guys have learned something. I'm going to include some little mini lessons about what light and dark is and how they're perceived by the eye, as well as what visual weight is, how it's broken down psychologically. So stay tuned, and I'll be back with updates tomorrow.